Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. We got a pretty wild build today. We have a Hot Wheels Harry Hauler. Now this is a fantasy car released by Hot Wheels in 1971, and it was only released in 1971. But the other thing that's interesting about this car is that it was also only manufactured in the United States, which is incredibly rare for Hot Wheels cars. Usually they make them in the United States and in Hong Kong, at least back in the old days anyways. So this is pretty fun for me because I've never done one of these cars. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a restoration on this bad boy. We'll get it all apart and we'll do our autopsy and everything and check it out and see what we got, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage, and if you don't drink, grab a Coke or a Pepsi or whatever and join in. I've already drilled out the post. Now there's a post in the front of the car, and there's also a post that the engine is the post. So once you drill it apart, then you've got to drill out the engine post. Now make sure you're taking it easy when you go ahead and take this car apart, because you can bend the wheels, etc., and you definitely don't want to do that. Like I said, this is the first time I've done a Harry Hauler, and I've been looking forward to doing this car. You've definitely got to be ginger when you're taking these cars apart, because you don't want to scratch anything up or put any gouges in anything, etc. Just slowly take your time and take it apart. Wow, it's being real stubborn. There we go. I guess the engine was still holding it in place. We'll pop out the interior and with the glass in the front there. You got to be careful with that because you don't want to break it. Now, I didn't really do any searching for a new windshield for this car. They may exist. I don't know because I didn't look. But this one here was in pretty good shape. It just needed to be cleaned up and polished. Here we go. We'll peel out the interior. Now, the interior only came in one color also. It came in white. There we go. Dang. It's got a slight crack in the windshield. But we'll go ahead and polish it up and dip it in the Future Floor Finish or the Pledge Revive or the Gauzy, whichever we want. The body's not in bad shape, but there's a bunch of chips in it. The base is tarnished really well, so we're definitely going to have to take care of that. The suspension's in good shape, but there's dual wheels on the back. That's pretty unusual for these cars. Here's the engine. We're going to have to polish that up too. That's looking awesome. And very simple interior. Let's go ahead and move on. Here we've got the embalming fluid. Now let's get the body in there and get it coated completely. Make sure you get it inside the cockpit also, if you can hold on to the darn thing. Shake all the excess citrus strip off and put it on something that you can let it set for a while. Let's move on to the next step.
Someone is being exhumed.
While the body is in the citrus strip, we're going to go ahead and polish up the base. Now, like I said, it was toned up pretty good. So we're going to use the flitz. I'm going to rub it all around. You don't want to use a lot of this stuff because you're just wasting it. It only takes a little bit. And you don't, like I said, you don't want to waste it. One big tube like this lasts me for months. Now, if you want a good deal on flitz, check out the comments. There's a link to a website for flitz. And use the code word graveyard and you'll get a 20% discount on any Flitz product that you buy. Now you have to go to the link in the comments or the savings code won't work. Okay? So check it out at Flitz. This is one of my favorite steps when I'm doing cars is polishing. Polishing the body, polishing the base, etc. because it gives you a feeling of accomplishment because you're seeing the tarnish come off and you're seeing all the residue come off and making it nice and shiny again. This is working real well. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. The base looks really good. That's nice. Now we'll go ahead and we'll wipe that down. Let's change the tires while we're at it. Like I said, there's dual wheels in the back, but the middle or the inside of the wheel is like a big cap, and you put a new wheel on top of that. It's pretty cool design, really. These are all cap style wheels. We got 4 medium meats we're going to put on there. We got 2 for the front and 2 medium meats for the back. That's going to look really awesome. Nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. We got the body out of the stripper and we got it cleaned up with Zep degreaser. Now we're going to use magenta, the retro flame paint, a brand new product from Second Chance Redlines. And I says, you know, I'm going to go ahead and try this out. Now you have to mix this with activator hardener like you would if you were using Spectre Flame. Make sure you get all the hard to reach areas first, and I know I say that in every video, but you got to remember that sometimes this may be the first video that people are watching before, you know, as they find Diecast Graveyard on YouTube. So just bear with me here, okay? But the magic of this paint, it turns out really, really nice. The color is nice and deep, and the shiny finish at the end is absolutely incredible. Now, as the same with any kind of paint, make sure you put on light mist coats. You can go back in later and you can put some saturation coats in, but you want to put these tack coats on, especially when you're using these urethane paints. Take your time, put a nice light coat on. Again, get all the hard to reach areas first, and then come back in and spray the areas that you can see easily, like the outside of the car and the hood, etc. I love airbrushing these cars. Now, if you don't have an airbrush setup, folks, get yourself a cheaper one to begin with. And there's some in my Amazon Marketplace page. But get yourself a small compressor, and I've got all kinds of how-to videos. How to select an airbrush, how to select a compressor, and those are in the how-to section of the playlists for my YouTube page. So check those out. But if you have any questions once you do get an airbrush, I'll be happy to answer them for you. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, please. Now later on, as you get used to the airbrush, you're going to want to get a better airbrush because, let's face it, you get what you pay for.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
So now we've got the glass, it's all cleaned up. Now we're going to dip it in the Pledge Revive. I'm doing several cars at the same time here. Just wick off the excess Pledge Revive and let it set and dry. Now here's all the parts we got. We got the body all repainted with the Second Chance Redlines Retro Flame paint. The base has been polished up. We got brand new wheels from the Redline shop. Here's the interior all cleaned up. Here's the glass after the Pledge Revive. That looks fantastic. And here's the engine that we polished up with the Flitz. Let's put it all together and have our reveal. And here's what we started with. This Hot Wheels Harry Hauler, released only in 1971. Now later on they may have come out with a specialized version of this for the RLC club or something like that. But as far as the regular car, it probably didn't sell that well. Because again, fantasy cars, they usually don't sell well. People want cars that look like the muscle cars and trucks, etc., etc. But it's pretty cool, and it deserves a place in our collection nonetheless. We took it apart. We drilled out the post. Again, the engine was one of the posts. We took out the glass. Be careful that you don't break the glass, because I don't know if you can find these. Maybe somebody makes them. I don't know. We repainted it with the Second Chance Redlines Retro Flame paint. And the paint looks absolutely fantastic, as you'll see here in a moment. And this is what we got too. Look at that beautiful paint job. That magenta paint, the Retro Flame paint, looks fantastic, and it works fantastic. We polished everything up. The engine, the base. We put brand new wheels on from the Redline shop. And man, I'll tell you what, this restoration is complete. Now, if you take your time and you search on eBay and other places, like on the Facebook club pages, if you check out those pages, you're liable to get a really good deal on a Redline car. And honestly, I think I picked this up for like $12. You can find good deals if you wait and if you search. All right? If somebody's telling you they want to sell you a car for $100 or something like that, folks, hey, if you get it, it's up to you. But take your time, wait, be patient, and it will come to you, but you've got to do the research. This was a fantastic restoration, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. We got a lot more videos coming up in the future here. And if you didn't subscribe, please do. Give it a big old like and a thumbs up. And again, I got a lot more videos coming up in the near future. My name is Paul with Diecast Graveyard. I want to thank you for watching my video today. Have a great day, and cheers.